Chain Drug Review, and Mass Market Retailers Video Forum. Brought to you by the Emerson Group.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jeffrey Wolt, Editor-in-Chief of Retail Media IQ. Welcome to our video forum. Today, we're thrilled to have back Musab Balbale, Senior Vice President and Chief Merchandising Officer at CVS. Musab, great to have you with us.
Thanks, Jeff. Good to be here.
Since you became CVS Chief Merchant, you've always embraced the concept of continuous improvement. What progress did you make during the course of 2024?
It's a really great question. You know, when I joined in 2022, we were coming off of just such incredible momentum through COVID. And what we found during that period was customers really had regained both their trust and loyalty in CVS. And the path and the journey that we were on was really about how do we continue to drive customer frequency, customer growth, and certainly the units that they purchase at CVS. And I think this past year, it's certainly been a challenging year for retailers all around. What I'm really proud of is we've maintained that focus on the customer. And so the success we're seeing on our customer growth, their frequency, their units in their basket is really driving a lot of confidence that the value proposition that we have created is resonating in the market, even in a really difficult time. In particular, I think we've really focused on three things, right? The first is we've continued to make our assortment and our merchandise just a stronger proposition for the customer. And so this includes certainly simplifying our assortment in places, but also just strengthening the quality of our brands and the ability for customers to find them. Not least of which in that is the launch of Well Market, which is our new consumables brand that has really excited certainly us internally and our colleagues in the store, but we're seeing significant resonance with customers on both just the incredible flavor profiles of the products. These are like really tasty, delicious, better for you snacks, but also just sort of the liveliness and the energy in the packaging. In addition to sort of products and brands, we've also expanded categories this year. So getting into gifting and celebrations, getting into more pet wellness. We're finding more reasons for customers to come into our store, which I think is helping drive some of that customer growth and that customer frequency growth. So I'm really excited about the merchandising of our store. We've similarly taken a fresh approach to just thinking about our value proposition. We set off 2 years ago on simplifying our pricing and promo structures to make sure that we continue to offer value in a much more accessible way to more customers. And we've made a lot of progress on that. Our extra big deals construct, which we launched in the middle of the year, is seeing a lot of resonance with customers. And so it's a journey for sure, but like it's one that I think we've made a lot of progress on. And then finally is our continuing focus on the customer and convenience. Our buy online, pick up in store platform continues to grow. Our partnerships with third-party marketplaces like DoorDash and Instacart continues to grow. Our digital app, which we just sort of launched our new app across the enterprise, is seeing a lot of success in our stores and with our customers. And so we continue to find ways to make it much easier for the customer to engage with CVS, certainly in the front store and in the pharmacy, but as an enterprise overall.
As you go about the process of sharpening your mix and, as you say, bringing in new brands, exciting brands, how do you find them, number one, and two, how do you make room for them?
Space is an interesting conversation, right? So I think as we look at our stores, we're constantly evaluating how do we continue to reduce what I'll sort of say is false choices on our shelves and make really calculated decisions about which categories and spaces we want to expand. But we're also embarking on this really exciting journey to think about our stores not just as a single retail format spread across the country, but thinking about our stores as really community destinations. And as we do that, we see a store in an urban location needs a different assortment and a different set of brands than a store in a rural location might or a suburban location might. And so while it is adding complexity to the assortment merchandising mix, we're finding ways to simplify the processes so that we can be a much better community destination for our customers.
I know you were working on a new store mat, a store of the future. I saw the one up in Massachusetts. How far along are you in arriving at a destination?
Yeah, so it's multiple destinations. I think we learned a lot through our 2.0 format, um, and those sorts of learnings I think sort of take two forms, right? There are stores in our fleet that really are health and wellness destinations that need to feel more like a health and wellness destination. And I think what that health and wellness store format did was get us closer to finding a store look and feel and flow that allows us to better serve the healthcare portions of our portfolio, of our fleet portfolio. We launched what I'll call an editorial store in Wayland, which is really meant to think about how do we better tell stories in a more community-focused destination that certainly has pharmacy and healthcare in it, but really serves kind of the more everyday needs for customers. And so what you'll see us do over the course of 25 in the coming years is start to bring the learnings uh, on how customers shop and what parts of the store need to show up in different ways in order to kind of serve the type of format that a store has. Because we certainly know a store in Times Square is really different than a store with Minute Clinic attached to it, than a store with Oak Street Health attached to it. And so we will learn how to, and we will deploy like what we've learned in better making those particular formats come to life in the way they need to.
To what degree is localization feasible across a chain as vast as CVS?
I'm really optimistic about this, Jeff. I think there's been so much development in just tools, whether it be machine learning or automated sort of like publishing of planograms, that 5, 8, 10 years ago, when this was a really manual endeavor to think about building local planograms, it would have been really, really hard. But with the incredible advancement of just technology and analytics, I'm optimistic that we can simplify the process for the merchants, put a lot of the burden on on machines, and really come to a good answer in terms of localizing.
And in places where you've worked, experimented with this approach, how have customers responded? How do they feel it's elevated the experience for them?
Well, our NPS stores continue to grow, right? And especially in those stores that we're elevating the experience or changing this experience around. Um, our customers vote by their wallets, so we're seeing in these formats higher customer growth, higher frequency. I think what's really fascinating to me is that last piece, which is as we think about machine learning tools and really identifying the role of a store and what the right assortment is in that store, we can really look at and observe the behavior customers are showing with their wallet versus what they're saying. And as you know, in like these sort of consumer experiences, what people say is sometimes different than what people do. And so looking at what people do, I think allows us to continue to focus on the parts of our proposition that are winning in that store and iterate and change the things that are less compelling.
You alluded to this before, but how are you using technology, I guess, both to make a seamless experience for your customers, but also to help them within the brick and mortar store?
Uh, I think multiple facets to that question. The first is what the customer doesn't see. And so there's been a lot of technology and machine learning driven analytics that have helped support better on-shelf availability for our customers. And so over the course of the last 3 years, the inventory and supply chain team, in conjunction with the technology team, have actually sort of improved our on-shelf availability and certainly our in-stocks. Similarly, we've invested a lot of technology in improving just the day-to-day tasks and responsibilities on our store colleagues and really trying to remove the complexity of decision making for them and the workflow for them. And so again, that just results in better on-shelf presence, but it also results in like store colleagues having more time to talk to customers and engage with customers in a really meaningful way. And the second part to your question is really what does the customer themselves actually see? And so we've invested a lot in improving our digital app experience. And so that digital app experience is really meant to do two things. One, make it easier for customers to engage with the store, but also make it easier for customers to engage with other parts of the CVS enterprise, whether it be the pharmacy and the pharmacy pickup, could be their mail order prescriptions from Caremark. We'll start to think about more integration with Aetna and their health journey overall. But we are trying to use digital tools to help customers engage with the enterprise. And then certainly, what you see across retail, just to focus on buy online, pick up in store, and delivery to home. I'm particularly excited about just what I'm seeing in the acceleration of our delivery to home business. So we continue to find ways to make our consumer-facing digital experiences much more compelling and easier for customers.
And I assume Extra Care is integrated into the app, and that whole program is accessible via the app, yes?
It is, and one of the things that thank you for the reminder that we did this year that I'm again just excited about is we simplified even how we talked about Extra Care and Extra Care Plus, right? Previously, we used to have multiple loyalty program, Extra Care and Care Pass being the two top ones, uniting it under sort of a singular banner with a cohesive sort of customer journey from the free program to the premium program has made it much easier for us to both communicate in stores, but also through digital channels that this is one cohesive loyalty program with different elements for customers.
Mm-hmm. And how big an advantage is that for you in terms of seeing where the consumer is headed to have such a strong and large Extra Care program?
It's incredibly valuable. It manifests itself certainly in better textured understanding of customers and how they're shopping at their particular store and what matters to them. It certainly allows us to communicate with customers in a much more compelling way, not just in terms of coupons and value programming, but also in terms of other messages and making sure that we understand the specific person that we're talking to. And certainly it powers a lot of our CMX business that Parbs is leading, which again is, I think, seeing some incredible growth. And so there's multiple elements of how that loyalty data both supports certainly our growth, but ultimately just a much better experience for customers.
You alluded to the retail media network. How has that changed the shopping experience for customers?
Yeah, I mean, a retail media network, when done well, by its very nature, shows customers products or sponsored ads that's relevant for them. And so it makes the customer journey a lot easier. One of the challenges in digital shopping is that you're constantly searching for products. And so you've got to remember, what am I looking for? And that's really different than a physical shopping journey because you're walking through the aisles and you sort of see products and you add it to your basket. And so when done well, retail media ads show up at the moment that you need it, the moment that you might be out of toothpaste or you might be out of multivitamins or you might need some more shampoo. And so being able to really understand what's relevant for a customer, when might it be relevant, certainly helps drive the growth of our media ads, but it also simplifies the journey for customers.
Mm-hmm. A final question for you, Musab. What's ahead? What are your priorities for 2025? I assume personalization would be one of the things that you'll be trying to make some progress on.
Yes, so we are continuing to focus on our assortment and continue to focus on localization of our assortment. That will be a big priority. The second is just continuing to strengthen our value proposition and continue to simplify price and promo to make sure that value is much more accessible for customers. And then the third element, I think, for us is just finding ways to better engage customers, whether it be through our CRM channels, through the in-store colleague experience, through better connections with pharmacy and insurance, but making sure that one of our strengths is that we've got that consumer engagement, we've got that one-on-one relationship in moments of acute customer need, making sure we are showing up in a way that we are an ally for our customers and they feel that allyship.
Mm-hmm. Well, some exciting times at CVS, and we will be excited to watch how you make progress on these things. Thanks
Great.
so much for your time today.
Thank you, Jeff.